Hey, you, I'm the Queen of Shade. Welcome to the interview. Don't forget to comment, like, subscribe. Oh, and hit my Cash App to support your favorite content creator. Now let's get to the interview. Mwah.
I can think about a million reasons why you need to burn in hell. You're a liar and a cheater, a con artist telling tales. Been rejected, disrespected, boy, your abuse never fails. I'm so done, boy, really done, boy, now I'm staying to myself. I'm so stoic. 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 I'm so stoic.
Salutations, Duthos. This is your fabulous leader, the Queen of Shade, coming to you with another special presentation. Moving full speed ahead, talking to some amazing people from around the world and stateside has been an amazing, amazing opportunity. And now I have someone else that you need to meet. This young man is an entrepreneur first. Let's say that first. He's a published model and author. Ladies and gentlemen, I would like to introduce you to Mr. Leon Berry.
Hello, thank you for having me for one. I'm like super excited for it. This has been a long time overdue, so I'm excited to be here. You look amazing.
Thank you.
I love the glasses.
Thank you.
We both are doing the gold ensemble, so I
Yes.
love it.
Well, to be honest, Mr. Berry, you requested it.
That is very true.
I want them to know because you are what I love about you is even in your posting online where I first encountered you, you are very deliberate. Everything is treated properly. Everything is done right. Lighting is good. Like you take time to really, really, really edify the craft of content creation.
Well,
So
I really appreciate that, and I
yes,
try. Aesthetic means everything to me.
it is. It is. It is. And
You
it
know,
should. I mean, you're a Leo, first of all.
okay, yeah, you know exactly. You hit it right on the head.
Yeah. I love these posts that you're doing lately, where it's like a Leo would do this, or when a Leo's trying to get your attention, or I posted that one last night. It's like when a Leo's trying to get your attention. I love that. And get this, I'm not going to start it off on a bad foot, but like I have always stayed away from Leos, and I'll tell you why. Because
Oh,
I encountered a really bad Leo in my life. He was my uncle. He is my uncle, and he's 8 years older than me. And I'd never
oh,
seen someone stab you in the back and in the chest so fast. I never
what?
saw, yeah. So get this. So there's a reason why I'm telling you,
Okay,
because now I have other Leos in my life, and they're not like that. They're
right.
amazing people. They have some of the same spiritual gifts that I do, very in tune, very empathic, very caring, very nurturing, very ambitious, very driven, so those Leos are teaching me how to kind of get over my Leo hurt, I'll call it. Yeah,
Well,
yeah,
I'm glad I can add to getting over
yes.
that Leo hurt. And I'm not for sure if he's an August Leo or a July Leo, but most of the times, July Leos are normally the crazy ones, and
He's
the
August,
August Leos. He's an August one?
August the 14th.
Oh, wow. Okay, mine's a 17. Well, I don't know. I don't know. Maybe he has a bad
He
heart
had
or
a lot
something.
going. Listen, he had a lot going on. This ain't even about him, but
Right.
literally, I just wanted to say that because I've always been afraid to kind of like, and I mean afraid to like be around Leo men. And
Wow.
but get this, you guys are so sexy and so seductive and so like I said, deliberate in your like your intentions that always draws me. I'm a Libra. So, like
Oh,
yes. So like
okay.
that power, it draws me. I like that. And it
We're
just,
gonna just pull you right in. We're gonna pull
yeah,
you
because like he just,
in.
yeah, but moving on. I'm glad that I'm meeting another Leo who's not crazy.
Before we move on, I just want to say that since you're a Libra, my mom's a Libra.
Ah,
So that's a good sign right there.
yeah,
So
yeah.
the
So
energy is matching. And yesterday, this is kind of side related, but while at work, I met another Libra this past week, and me and her really connected. So this
oh,
Libra energy right now, this past week,
yeah.
is coming back to me, and I love it.
Yeah, I love it too. I love it too. I love it too. And that's the funny thing about the universe. The universe keeps putting me in proximity to Leos. My
Wow.
baby in Atlanta, he's a Leo. He's my
Ooh,
first like son that not birthed from me, but like,
right.
he said, I want you to be my mother, kind of thing. He chose me. And I even like that because he was like, look, you're gonna be my mother. And I was like, okay.
Right.
Like very Leo. And
All
my
right.
I could handle that. I could
Right.
handle that. So it's amazing to watch him and others. Like I said, I watch you incessantly. We all love your page. So we all pay attention to everything that
Well, I
you
love your page too.
thank you.
Okay, you definitely give people the realness and the honesty and the love, the dedication, and just it's really interesting. 'Cause I feel like there's a lot of personifications that you have,
Yeah.
but they all correlate with one another. And I think that's what speaks volume. You're an original, and
Thank
that's what I love about you.
Thank you. Yeah, I got a lot going on over here. Like, and you know
Right.
what it is? Because I don't know if you know this, but I'm a shaman. And I'm not just a shaman, I'm a shaman, oracle, prophet, seer, healer, and medium. So I have like I've oh my God. So I turned 40 in September. So
Ooh.
yeah, I turned 40 in September. So it's like I've always had these gifts, but like because of like turmoil and tribulation in my life, my gifts would kind of turn on like a faucet and then turn off. I could never keep them, streaming in an even balanced stream. And then as I got older, I want to say when I hit 37, they started to really like they would turn on and they would stay on. So then I get to 40, just celebrating my birthday in September, and all of a sudden I'm hearing people that passed. And I'm like, oh my God, I'm a medium. And I'm like, wow. Like I said, and it's so crazy because it kind of was a given. And my uncle, like my family has these gifts. We're not from Louisiana, New
Okay.
Orleans, come with these gifts. But
Yeah.
we're from Philadelphia, but my grandmother's from Tucker, Georgia. So she's the one that kind of passed all of these like delightful gifts to us that once you learn how to yield yourself to yourself, they kind of like they work really beautifully.
The
So
manifestation
yes,
becomes alive at that point.
yes, yes. And she doesn't even bother me. She's a devout Christian. And I'm like, you go ahead and be your Christian. I'm a shaman over here. Don't make me go get a chicken leg, a chicken foot, put it in the bowl. But yeah, but but no, like she's very accepting of me and what I do because I've even, the purpose of a shaman is to guide. The
Yes.
purpose, even in Africa, the village, people say, oh, it's only Native American. No, there were African shamans as well, whole tribes. But it's to govern, what's going on. You come to the shaman when you are having infertility problems or, different things like that. And they sit in there and they put the bones in the bowl and they look and they say,
Mhm.
go do this, or they make you something, go do this, take this. It smells horrible, but it's gonna work. Like that's kind of like what I'm embracing. And
It's giving Candy Burrs vibes.
yeah,
But he was like, your husband is here with you. And
yeah,
lo and behold, Todd.
it is.
Love
It
it.
is. Yes, you're very right. And I'm gonna go right there. That's a segue right there. So speaking of you, mister, you have one of the best bodies I've ever. I just have to say it. And you are very well built and proportioned in every aspect of your stature. It's real, and I'm saying it like this, but they're gonna have to go look because then they're gonna be like, damn, like for real, because like like it's so beautiful. It's you just are so like you just are so
You're
beautiful.
making me blush.
Oh, well, that's good. I'm glad. I'm glad.
Oh my
You can
goodness.
get flowers.
I know. Well, I appreciate it so much. I'll work tremendously hard in the
Yeah.
gym. I think people really don't understand like the dedication and work that
Yeah.
goes into looking a certain way and having your body
Yeah.
fit what your goals are,
Yeah.
and the dieting,
Yeah.
drinking lots of water, getting plenty of rest, staying stress free, just doing all the right things to make sure that I can look as young as I can for forever.
And black don't crack, so you're gonna look like that for many,
That's
many
true.
years.
Look, you see, I got my water right next to me.
Right, right, right. It's such a beautiful thing. Like you said, you're glad to be here, but I'm glad to have you here. I am.
Oh,
I'm
this
really
is
glad.
like magical right now. It's just like, I don't know, I just feel like there's like energy vibrating like between
Well,
us.
well, we can't help it. We're both very spiritual beings.
That is very true.
Very
But
spiritual.
but yeah, I love my body. I think people should embrace all their bodies, and I'm blessed. You know what I'm saying? There's nothing else that I can say about that. And I think the world should see the
Yes.
beautifulness that I have to offer. And yeah.
I love it. I love it. Okay, so let's shy away from that for a minute. You have a little bit of an accent. Tell me where you were born.
So I was actually originally born in Dayton, Ohio,
Okay.
but I moved to North Carolina in Charlotte when I was 15, and I'm 29 now, so I've been here almost 15 years. So I have a little bit of my up northern slang with my down south slang, and it just kind of merge them all together. And this is kind of funny because people don't understand. People up north, we have a difficult time saying words, or if they have like STR or like I don't know, it's like straight, street. I have to like enunciate it, the street, or if I say street, it just I don't know, but it's just really weird. But it's funny because when I talk to my family in Ohio, they're like, "Oh my God, you're like so freaking country now," and I'm just like, I can't really tell. But then my boyfriend, he's like, "You sound more country than I am," because he's from Spartanburg, South Carolina, and I say more country words than him. I don't know.
Well, baby, it's working for you either way. It's
Well,
working
thank
for you. I think this is the first time I've been following you 7, 8, 9, maybe 9 years, something like
Really?
that. Hmm. Hmm.
Wow.
And yeah, and the thing about it is, this is the first time I've heard you talk.
That is so funny that you're saying that. I'm a very shy person. A
Hmm.
lot of people wouldn't believe that, but I really am shy.
Hmm.
Um, Apart from me being shy, also, I can be very controversial with the things that I say. So I'm always more conscious just of the things that I say. So I've typically shied away from talking on social media. So mixed just a bunch of other reasons, but that's just funny that you say that because that's something that I'm always like a parent of. Like I know I don't talk that much on social media, and I think now I'm at a place in my life where I want to express myself more online because my friends they get that real side of me that nobody gets to see, but social media hasn't really gotten that from me, and now I'm in a space again where I'm just more comfortable. Where I want to be more present, say the things that I want to say because I'm gonna say what I say, and it just is what it is. So that's just how it is. But I think as you get older, you just start to realize like your voice matters. It's so important just to talk about the things that's going on in your mind, because that just helps your mental health. But you can help others that are dealing with things that they may not have knowledge on or need to help guidance. They need that guidance to get through those same things. And that's why I am being a lot more vocal now. And that's also another reason why I was like, I'm going to do this interview. I'm going to show me more. And, of course, I love you. So I'm like, I'm going to, support you always. And yeah, and we're here. So I'm like, let's do this, baby.
Yay! But you know what's so funny? I like the things that you're saying too, because get this, social media, we always are all trying to put our best foot forward, you know?
Yeah,
So we play to our strengths and not our weaknesses.
that's
It's
very
just
true.
natural. It's a natural thing. Everybody is doing that. So I can understand that if you're shy, why you might not have said a lot of things on social media. But let me tell you something. You may not audibly use your voice a lot, but honey, them comments, them captions, them captions, them we hear you loud and clear. So you are giving us a representation of who you are, especially who you are, even under the beauty, because we read them captions and it's yeah. And
Okay,
a lot of people read captions because
that's
we get
true.
to hear the person. And you have, I remember when I was in high school many, many moons ago, I graduated class of 2000 actually. One of my English teachers told me that I had a very rare gift. And she said, you have the ability to give voice to your words, that even when you're not speaking, we can hear you loud and clear. You have that same ability.
Yeah.
So when I read you, I can hear you talking, and that is a gift. And it's kind of funny because you say I want to get more or be more vocal on social media. I immediately was thinking that you need a podcast. I was thinking that you might want to do a podcast or something
Uh,
like that. Yeah, as an option.
Yeah, there's been talks about that, and there's been a lot of different platforms approach me about doing different things.
Yeah.
Um, I just, again, was in the right place at the right time. You know what I'm saying? Just where I was at mentally. And a lot of people don't know, but I actually have like a full blown career.
Yeah. Tell them, talk about
Yeah,
it.
so it keeps me very busy. That's why I'm like always traveling, always on the go. I went to 5 different states this year for work.
Yeah.
But my specific, how can I say this? Where I work at, it can be a conflict of interest
Okay.
for um, just social media and my personification. That word is like a tongue twister for me today. But who I am online, I try to keep those two worlds separate
Okay.
because that's to me, that's like my career. That's like my baby. That's
Okay.
like that is me when I'm off of social media. That is my go-to place to express that boldness and go after my accomplishments and my goals. So that's another reason why I don't take some opportunities because I don't want that conflict of interest. Because at the end of the day, that career job is bringing in the big bucks. So
Yes. Yes. I understand completely.
yeah.
So tell me, where'd you go to college?
So I actually went to a college here in North Carolina called Johnson and Wales University, but I ended up transferring to Strayer because I wanted to go all online. Because at the time, I was in another relationship and I was working, had 2 jobs, and then I ended up working for another company, and it kind of trajectory my career to a whole nother level that I didn't even expect. I started making a lot of money, but
Yeah.
I didn't have the time to physically be present in school. So I said, I need to switch to all online. That's gonna be better for me. And that's what I did.
Yeah. So do you have a bachelor's, master's? What is it?
Bachelor's.
Bachelor's in what?
Yeah.
What's your concentration?
In marketing.
Marketing.
Yeah.
Do you know what? That's what
No,
that's why
yeah.
even your online presence is very well marketed. Very well
Thank
marketed.
you.
And we
With
want
a concentration in business administration.
business administration.
Yeah.
See, listen. If there's one thing I know about Leos, y'all some smart damn cookies. Smart.
There we
Everyone I
are.
met, even my crazy uncle, is smart as a whip. Smart as a fucking whip. Yes, he is smart as a whip. And it's just like, wow, like yeah. So I can definitely see that too because he was very passionate about his career as well. So I
Love
can,
that.
and I
That
understand
is
keeping it separate thing. So tell me, are you an only child?
so actually I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I have 8 or 9 siblings.
Okay.
But I am my mom's and dad's only biological child, like that
Okay.
came from them. All my other brothers and siblings, well, I say other brothers and sisters, siblings, whatever, they all either have different moms or different dads. So you could say blood, I'm technically the only child, but I grew up in a home full of kids.
And that's good though, because it helps shape your personality. You can deal with a lot of people,
It
you know?
really does.
Yeah.
And my parents were divorced and both of them got remarried. And so I've gotten different phases of childhood because at one point I was the baby on my mama's side and my parents got divorced. Of course, I went and lived with my mom. And my brothers and sister, they were older. So once they graduated, I got to experience life as a only child, I guess. So, which is really cool. And then on my dad's side, I have an older brother and I have 2 younger siblings. And my older brother, none of us talk to him. He doesn't talk to anybody. He's like a ghost. He's like, I don't even know.
Yeah.
And then my 2 younger siblings, they of course live with my dad and stuff like that. So they got to grow up in that household. So it was an interesting childhood for me. And then I thought it was funny that you said your mom is a Christian. Is she a pastor, right?
Not my grandmother, my great grandmother. Yeah,
Or your
she
great grandma?
no, she master's degree level teacher, educator.
Okay, awesome. Well, my dad's a pastor, so I'm a PK. Right, like Lord have mercy. The PKs are always kind of
Always
going,
don't listen. But listen, you ain't doing nothing. You ain't doing nothing that the world won't forgive you for.
amen on that one.
Okay.
But yes, so I have a lot of siblings, but I've experienced all the different phases from being the only child, kind of sort of, to being in a house full of kids. So it was really awesome. I love my siblings. I'm very close to my younger siblings, because I'm like the big brother to them, and I actually have their first initials tattooed on my side too, which is really cool. So yeah.
Oh, that's so lovely. Like, and I love that too, because one thing about you that I love, and it is a Leo thing too, you're very adaptable. You adapt. And I like that because I'm very adaptable, so it's whatever I have to deal with, I'm going to deal with it. I'm going to get through it. And then I'm going to wait until I can, get my footing and then decide whether I'm going to turn around and slay or turn around and, accept this situation or yeah, so childhood could be something. I have what do I have? I have two sisters and a brother on my mom's side, but I share one of my sisters with my father. So I'm the middle child on my father's side. I
Oh,
Yeah, I'm the oldest on my mother's side. So
isn't that crazy how they're just kind of all
yeah, it's so crazy. My older brother, he's an asshole. I just don't know any other way to say it. He's an asshole. Like just asshole. Like competition.
oh.
Competition. Highly competitive.
I know all about that.
Yeah, and I mean really bad. I'm gonna share this because I'm gonna share this real quick because this needs to be said. So, I don't know if you followed me as long, but I battled with mental illness. It took me 16 years of therapy and medication and a psychiatrist to get it under control, which is why I was able to snatch my career back and why it looks like I'm just skyrocketing is because I've been doing this 20 years. I had a lot of mental health issues that were passed to me
Wow.
hereditarily from my mother and my father. They both battle mental illness. So I remember I got out of the hospital when I first got here in 2009. And my brother, he had a very successful career in Chicago. He's now in Texas. But he invited me out there and I came out there, it was the first time I was just coming out of the hospital. So I was very raw and very, I'm an ambivert. So I'm an extroverted introvert. I love my time. Like I love this. I can give you a show, but at the same time, when I'm ready to go, I'm ready to go. Like,
Yeah.
because it's just, yeah, I live on a moment to moment basis. That's why I don't do a lot of, walkthroughs or hosting or anything like that because once I'm ready to go, I don't want any
I'm ready to
contract
go.
trying to tell me that I have to stay here until 2 a.m. because I'm not doing
Yeah.
it. Yeah. But he,
You
yeah,
sound like me.
exactly. So like just to make a long story short, like he kicked me while I was down. I was just getting out of the hospital. I had already started, getting my career back together, but I had to go in the hospital. So then when I came out and I went to visit him, he made a remark to me. He was like, "You should be doing way better than I am because you went to suburban schools."
Wow.
What the hell does that have to do with anything?
Yeah, I didn't do anything.
So I just, but whatever. It is what it is. But I understand what it is like to have to deal with a lot of personalities at once. And
Mhm.
even his shaped me to be able to be out here in this world because I recognize very quickly, like I see very quickly. I'm never caught off guard by someone's personality.
But
So,
what's interesting that you said is just talking about adaptability.
mhm,
People don't recognize that words are powerful.
yeah.
Words, like you said, you don't even have to talk sometimes for things to kind of showcase. But when you apply words,
Mhm,
that stuff can sit with a person and how you remember that from years and years ago.
yeah.
That catapulted you to go in a different direction.
Yep.
And although that was something that had no relevancy to what you were going through at the time, that was a moment of reflection for you to take and show yourself that you're in that state of healing.
Yeah.
Clearly he has things that he's still going through, but now you are moving forward and you're about to get out of that depressive state. So I commend you on just getting out of that funk and
Yeah.
also just going forward and not looking back, you know?
Yeah. And the crazy thing was you hit the nail on the head, Leon, because I was ill at the time. It was 2009. I'm like, if you're intimidated by me when I'm ill, oh, wait till you see me when I'm healthy.
Okay.
Wait till you see me when I'm everything, I'm firing on all cylinders. And I want you to know something. He's been watching and he hasn't said a word
Wow.
because my thing was, and get this, people, you got to be careful with people because they will say the truth in their dig against you. So it was like, sweetheart, you're right. I should be doing better because I went to and had more opportunities. That's what he was trying to say. You had the opportunity, so you should be doing better because you had the opportunity. And my attitude was, you're right, I did have the opportunity. And when I get better, you better watch out.
You're
And
gonna
now,
see how them opportunities help me.
exactly. And now I'm thriving and going, and I love what I do. And, I'm not looking back. And, it's kind of crazy because I don't conduct these like interviews. In an interview, the person at the interviewer asks you questions. They're one-sided, and you are like in the hot seat, and
Yeah.
you're like sweating bullets because you don't know what the hell they're about to ask you. And you kind of have a wall up. It's kind of like, you like, okay, this is the press. I don't want to deal with that. Well, being a star myself, I had to take and come up with my own way of interviewing because I know what it's like to have somebody sit you down and just drill you with the 2020 questions. That's not fun. That's not
Yeah.
fun. So in these, I offer information about me. You offer information about you. We learn about each other. So that is what how we do it. But I hear people, oh, well, you should do it the old fashioned way. And I'm like, no, it'll never be the old fashioned way because I'm not old fashioned. I'm not.
And that's so funny because remember I asked you for like a treatment because I was like, what kind of questions I need to
Yeah,
prep because I can talk a lot.
good.
And in my past interviews, I've constantly worked on, okay, you got to have shorter responses. You have to be prepared. You have to do this, so all these different things. So when you were like, we're just going to have more of a conversation, I was like, okay, well, let me just ease my mind and kind of relax and just soak in the moment. And I'm actually glad that we're having this type of interaction because I am sweating a little bullets, but it's not as bad.
Beyond very. I offer you and I encourage you to run your mouth. Run your mouth. Run your mouth, baby.
Right.
Right. Because but that's why. Because this is the thing. I hate interviews when I do them, when I'm the guest, because it's so one-sided.
Yeah.
The interviewer offers nothing about themselves, nothing. So you're out there, and then you know what they do. Then they turn around and they twist everything you said, and it's edited all kinds of crazy, and it's like that. And you're sitting there going, "That's not what I said. That's not what I said." Like that's
Right.
not what I said. So that has kind of calmed down with the birth of social media because now social media, you can go on there and tell your own following what you got to say. You don't really have to take an interview anymore. So I too would sweat bullets because it was like, oh my God, what are you going to ask me? And it also put me in the frame of mind to where I told everything. I talked about mental illness. I talked about my family. I talked about all of those things that I could possibly be drilled on so that I wouldn't be drilled on them. So it's
Yeah.
kind of funny that we both kind of, even in our styles, we both kind of had something happen and we said, well, let's alter this a little bit and get something different. And it's nothing wrong with altering, but
Yeah.
I want you to know that today you are here because I love you. You have no idea.
Well, I appreciate it a whole lot, and that's why I said I'm present today. And it was crazy because being that I am a Leo, I'm a sun baby.
Yeah.
Since the weather has changed, it kind of alters my mood. And I don't know if this is like seasonal depression or just, again, whenever the sun goes away, you can go ask any Leo friend, they will tell you that their mood and how they feel is down. And yesterday, when we were originally going to do the interview,
Right.
although it got,
It was raining.
canceled because of the
Passing.
storm and all that stuff, just craziness. And I was like, I'm still just as like energetic and just as excited as I was yesterday. And today when I woke up, I was like, this Saturday is going to be a me day. I'm not going to do anything and I'm just going to get to relax. And again, we changed the plan. So I was like, you know what? I'm still going to relax on Saturday. I'm going to chill. And then when it's time to me to do my interview, we're going to wake that spirit up.
Listen, you know what's so awesome about my treatment is that even if you came here and you weren't so ready to, be the, you know, aggrandized or the happy version of yourself, I would have known and I would have lifted you
Amen
because
on that.
that's what people don't understand. That's what this is about. I'm a mentor. I offer mentoring. I'm a tad expensive. So, yeah, just a tad. So, most people don't get to see me in the capacity of building someone up. And
Yeah.
how I conduct these interviews, which are really conversations, is exactly how I conduct my business. We sit just like this off camera, not recorded because it's a personal thing, a private thing. But I sit and I talk to the person that's booked me for mentoring, just like this, and get to know them and offer insight, and they share. I don't believe that the world should be one sided. Just because I am the queen of shade, does not mean that I'm the authority in the
Right.
situation. To every interview, I come ready to learn. I'm a scholar and a student of life. I want to learn as much as I can from everyone that I meet and that I encounter. And even with you, I'm learning. I've learned so much. So just so far, we're just getting started. You
Right.
and it's great because it was like, to know that you're shy, I am too, and to be able to show this world that even or in spite of your shyness, you can, because literally it's a will. You can literally will yourself to do things that aren't necessarily comfortable, you know,
True.
because you don't, and get it. I'd venture to say because we both don't like to do things that we don't know fully what can expect. It's like, okay, well, what is it that you want of me? What is it? How far are we going? And it's because of all of these gifts, I know what questions to ask you and what questions not to, because I can sense the change in your spirit, and I will literally divert a question. I just, it's a gift.
Like that.
It's a gift.
That's a powerful gift to have. It's a very powerful gift.
Mhm.
And you're very true to what you're saying, and I believe that. And that showcases through all your videos and the other interviews that you have done. I can see that. And also going back to the willpower, I've done the most amazing things in my life that I never expected myself to do. And even in the comfort of my shyness,
Yes.
uh, I use that same shyness
Yes.
in a way to empower myself.
Yeah.
And a lot of people, like you said, are one sided. Everything has, everything is gray. Everything is gray in life. And people choose whether or not to view it as gray. Some people don't have the discernment that they need to be able to make those conscious decisions or to say, hey, how can I open myself up? And for myself, I always told myself this: the worst thing that can ever happen to me is somebody either telling me no, that I can't do something, or I just fail at it.
Yeah.
And even when I fail at it, I'm one of those people that I'm gonna do it all over again. And whatever mistake I made, I'm not gonna do it that way this time. And we're gonna get it right this time. So, I just love that about myself and others who share that same comfort in their shyness, that we can say, although, yes, when I'm to myself, I'm to myself. But when I'm with others, I'm present with others, you know?
Yeah, you are so, and that's what I love too, and that's why I'm letting you, because just go, because every time you open your mouth, Mr. Barry, there's knowledge there. there's knowledge there. And to be honest, you're making me feel good. And this is the thing. It's not that I'm depressed or anything right now, but yesterday I had to get that booster shot for
Wow.
COVID, the
Yeah.
booster. So it was storming outside. I had that shot, and that was the first time I'd ever seen somebody give a shot where I bled. I bled like a pig. And I was like, is everything?
What?
Yeah. I'm like, is everything all right? Am I supposed to be bleeding like this? And she
Never heard of that.
yeah, and she said to me, the pharmacist, she said, that was unexpected. She said, but you are on the thin side. And I am. And she was like, because when my grandmother did it, it was just a prick and you saw just a droplet, but it wasn't even really blood. Like, so when she did me, I just and it was like, I'm like, and I'm not anemic, I my blood does clot. So I didn't know. And literally I couldn't even touch my arm. Like I couldn't even
Right.
touch my arm. Like it would, and then the symptoms, of what was going on. So I was just like, I'm just gonna rest. But I will say, in all actuality, I'm finding it because of the weather. Even with the therapy, talking to my therapist every week, the weather change has me it's not depression, but it's like a malaise where
Yeah.
I just kind of, it's like a film and just like a residue. And like I don't sleep at night. I don't sleep at night. I'm not sleeping at night and I'm trying to correct it. I'm trying to correct it because I need my sleep because I'm booked from now until Timbuktu with these interviews. Like I can't do this out. Yeah, I can't. I can't. The only reason why we didn't do it yesterday is because it was storming outside so bad. I said we're gonna lose power, and I was like,
Right.
I don't want to lose power because I anticipated talking to you. So I'm like, this is a big deal. Like I need to talk to him. Like because I got some people that love you just a little too much, and they're gonna be
Ah.
so jealous. They're gonna be so jealous. So it's nice. It's nice sometimes to be like, I spoke to him. Ha 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 ha.
Mhm. I
Yeah.
love that.
So yeah. So but
Two
yeah.
snacks talking to them like
Yes.
that. Okay.
Yes.
Make a whole meal right now. Okay.
Yes. Like So it just yeah. But like I'm trying to fix it even in my own life right now to sleep at night, and it's just like I take my medicine the same way, and it's just but it's the weather.
Yeah.
It's the weather. And I just can't wait until I can get to a place because it's coming. I'm very close where I can pack up my whole house and close it for the season and go somewhere where it's sun. And usually for me, I mean Europe, Spain,
Oh yeah.
Portugal. I have a friend who's from Brooklyn. His name is Morgan Muncie. I've already interviewed him. And he's a gorgeous man. He's an architect. His mother was a model. His father was a New York architect tycoon. Like he was a huge businessman in New York. So, of course, naturally, he taught his son the business. So he lives in Brooklyn and he's a Brooklyn historian. Like he's from Virginia, but he moved to New York with his mom and everything. And it was great. And then he found Portugal, Lisbon, and he loves Lisbon to where he has dual citizenship. So
Oh, okay, cool.
yeah, so he's in Brooklyn sometimes, and then he sneaks away. He said during the pandemic, he stuck away to, Lisbon because he was just like, I just love it here. And he was like, the men are beautiful, everything's beautiful. And he was like, and he said to me, he's like, you would love it. The weather is so good. And he didn't even realize it, but I need that type of weather. I don't need to be like, I can take winter. I'm so shady. Listen to how shallow I am. I'm joking. I'm not really shallow, but this is a
Right.
shallow. But this
It's
is
okay to be a little shallow.
yeah, this is a little shallow. I want winter for a couple of days so I can wear the best fur coat possible and take pictures.
Yeah.
That's that's yeah.
Oh
I
my
want
goodness.
yeah. I will be like because when Paris starts to snow and get cold, I'm leaving. But before I leave, I'm doing a whole photo shoot of just me at like 3 a.m. Down the streets of Paris, walking in my fur coat with my shades on, and yeah, just to get the pictures, and
Well,
then
for
I'll leave
anybody
them for the sun.
no, listen, well, anybody who's been following me, they know I love a good fur coat. So I totally understand you when it's like, yeah, the wintertime, you want to pull out your beautiful, luscious fur
Yes.
coats and just be in that element, in that zone. It just feels really good. And I got away from the snow. That's why I left Ohio and came to North Carolina.
Yeah.
So I fully understand you when it's like, yeah, I can deal with it for a day or two. Yeah, I don't like Christmas. After that, I'm good. Give me back to the heat. Let's cut. Let's get some sunlight out here. Let's do it. And it's funny. Not 2 years ago. My God, because of the pandemic, my years are all off. But 3 years ago, me and my partner, we went to Miami for Christmas. We did Christmas with the Cranks. We kind of like skipped Christmas, but not really. And it was like the best thing ever. It was like completely hot. I love it. But I look forward to seeing these pictures of you in a whole nother country in a furrow.
Right, right. Well, 20 years ago, I got my start in Paris.
Really?
I was a runway model
Okay. That's
in
awesome.
Paris. Yeah, in
I can
Paris.
see that. I
I
can see
was a runway
them
model.
runways down.
Really androgynous, long hair. Yeah, pretty face. Yeah, that was me. That was me.
Well,
And
I'm gonna tell you something. That body of yours is something serious too, Chad.
well,
Listen.
I haven't really worked. It's muscle memory right now. I'm doing little things, but I'm not as big because I posted a picture recently, and I'm not that big anymore. It was
Yeah.
from a couple of years ago, but I don't know if I'll ever get that big because now I got to wear dresses, but I believe in staying really really fit, and I strength train a lot. I lift really heavy weight, so and that just comes from being around football players in college. I just lift really heavy weight, so I'm strong, but
Yeah.
I go for more of a ripped look, not so much a big look.
Yeah.
So yeah, I will. I know most definitely because it's so crazy, Leon, because even with that, fitness helped me sing better. I sound better when I am working out on a regular basis. And I also do the elliptical every day after my workout, not before, after, because for my lung capacity. But it really does, like, it helps me. And I remember when I started wearing dresses and how tiny my waist was. And it's still tiny. I'm still a 30 waist. Like that doesn't
Yeah.
change. That doesn't change. But I have put on mass, in my legs, but I've done it before. Like, it's like, okay, I've done it before. I consider this a bulking season. It just has
Right.
it just has lasted 2 years, just 2 years. But I've worked out since I was like 17. So I'm not, really upset about it. I worked out all those years and I remember how my stuff fit, being fit. And I was like, oh, this is going to be amazing. This is,
Okay.
yeah, this is just going to look like, yeah, I can't wait. And
Well, health is wealth.
yeah,
Health is seriously wealth, and people don't understand working out has more benefits than just your body. Like you said, it helps your lungs, it helps with your breathing, your endurance. It helps you sleep better at night. It helps you digest food better. Keeps that waist nice and tiny and stops you from bloating. Just
it
you know
also regulates mental illness because
that is so true.
yeah, it releases more of that dopamine that you need to kind of keep you regulated. When I work out, I remember when I stopped working out, I was going berserk. It was like,
Yeah,
ugh. But right now, because I'm working so hard at this in my career, I'm so close to, there are people looking at me for contracts and things like that, and they have to be right because I'm not selling anything permanently to anyone. So, it's a lot of going back and forth. But my job, it just takes so much of my time. I'm here every day. So, and then the people don't understand there's so much more than this. I'm still doing, like I said when we started, I'm still doing the 60-second videos. I'm still doing,
right.
excuse me, the memes, and then new things come to me and
The
ideas.
music.
Yeah. And
Okay.
that's the thing. And I haven't really done music in like I haven't released an album since I want to say 2018. But my next album, when I released my album in 2018, my next album was already written. That's how I work. I work like that. So my next album was already written. So it's just been a matter of literally, and people don't understand this, and you do, because when you're running an empire, it's a lot of money. It's very costly to keep everything going the way that it is, and you never can prepare for unexpected things happening. So you always have to have your
True.
reserve. So right now, music is like it's on the back burner, but it's closer than most people will think. But I recently took all of my music off of the streaming sites because they're not paying artists what we deserve.
That is so
Yeah,
true. That
so
is so true.
I'm gonna stream through my website. I am working on, and I've said this before, I am working on finding the right person. So I've been approached before, but I needed to be the right person because I want to do a Queen of Shade app where you get,
Ooh.
yeah, where you get the videos, where you get the music within the app. As long as you have the app, you can get the music, new music, old music, the music videos, like everything there. The comments, the interviews, like all of that stuff. I want you to be able to access.
A
And
one-stop shop.
yes, like because right now my the queenofshade.com is my hub. And so it's like, yeah, I needed to be that. And I mean, I'm not gonna lie, having my music on streaming platforms did allow my song Stoic to go #1 in the UK. And I never expected that. It just was,
Wow.
yeah, it was crazy. My music has been heard in 53 countries. And it just was, yeah. So that did help. But the divine said to me, "No, do you want to be heard in 53 countries or do you want 53 countries to pay you?" And I was like, both, but heavy on the pay. Heavy on the pay. Like
Heavy
heavy
on the
on
pay.
the pay.
Yeah.
Like heavy on the pay. So I had to restructure some things. So yeah, but you know that being in marketing, you know how important it is, and business administration, you know how important it is to do
Well,
right.
social media has changed the landscape of how you conduct business now. And a lot of people don't understand the rights to things.
Mhm.
That just goes over people's heads. For somebody to have ownership over your words, your face, your likeness, who you are, those things are permanent. That person owns that. So just from that standpoint alone, and that's why even for myself, I've had to be more consciously aware of the things that I take on. Do I do interview? Do I write a book or whatever things I'm doing that are coming from other people? I have to be consciously aware of because okay, how are you presenting this? How are you presenting me? What is the narrative that you're creating about me? Because I no longer have control if I sign that over to you. So that's why I'm always very particular. When people send me contracts, I'm like, this contract is poorly written. So I don't think I'm gonna go with that.
Mm,
Or maybe that again, I'm not getting any type of low royalties from this, so I don't need to be doing this. And that's why, like prime example, our book on Amazon. It is a book that talks about the just ups and downs relationships and life and business and things like that. I'm gonna get royalties off that the rest of my life, you know. So that was what was important. How can this affect me long term while also somebody having the right to my words, you
yeah,
know?
a lot of artists forfeit that. They forfeit that for the upfront money because
Yeah,
a lot of artists can't afford to fund their careers. So if they can't afford to fund their careers and somebody offers them $1 million and they think, oh, this is such huge money, and then they don't realize that you forfeit probably 100 million because
yeah.
they're not gonna give you a clean 1%, not even, not definitely not 10%. So that's wow, you hit the nail on the head because that's been my issue with the entertainment industry the whole time. I could not allow other people to own me. I walked away from the modeling. I walked away from the music contracts. I walked away from the acting opportunities. I walked away from all of that because I did not just want to be a string in their tapestry.
Wow,
Yeah,
powerful.
I need my own tapestry. And that is
Well,
what I've done.
well, I tell people this: Do you want to be a product or do you want to be a brand?
Mm,
And those are two totally different things. You can sell a product all day long. You can be somebody's product. Yes, you still can make a lot of money, but are you a brand?
yeah,
Will this withstand without you continuing to do those things?
yep,
Because if you passed, or let's say you go into the next phase of your life, you're no longer going to be doing that. Will you still make money from it?
yeah. Real
And yes, oh, go ahead.
No, go ahead. No, no, go. Keep
Oh,
on. I'm gonna say
oh,
that
about
again.
to say, and even the upfront money on things can be be very rewarding, but again, that long term goal is not sustainable.
Yeah,
And you want to be around for forever. You want something that will be sustainable, that will outlive you,
yeah,
you know?
yeah. And the thing is, when you go, when we go, our work should not go to an outside company. Our work should go to our children, you know, our generations, the generations of our family that we have set forth. to inherit these things. And that was, listen, I took the high road. I like in my career early on, 20 years in this business, and I have always been made to take the high road because I'm not a person that likes to be told what to do.
Yeah.
I do follow directions. I do, because there's a time to be a leader and then there's a time to be a follower. So I understand both. That's why I sit here. But when it comes down to, okay, we want you to do this, and I'm like, okay, so what's the royalty? What's this?
Yeah.
What's that? What's this? What's that? And you want to own this? I I mean, come on, we are all music heads. Like everyone's a music head. We all listen to music. We all have favorite artists. And we hear them working so hard to try to buy their masters. And they kill themselves on the road, touring, and never home. They'll have no life because they're
Yeah.
making so much money so that they can afford to buy not just their catalog. You hit the nail on the head for real. Not just their catalog, but their likeness and their name. You gotta buy all of that, and just going back, that's why Prince, he changed his name to that symbol and wrote slave on his face during a performance because Warner Brothers, they owned his stuff. I believe it was Warner Brothers. If it wasn't, I'm sorry, y'all, but I believe it was Warner Brothers that owned his catalogs and things. He didn't have ownership to that. And Prince was a big influence in my career, big influence. And not necessarily musically, but business wise. He was like, he said something at an award speech, and he said, when we win in their game, we thank God because we are thanking God for allowing us to win in a game that we did not construct.
Wow.
Yeah, yeah. And he said, in our game, you play your game and you walk away and you retain ownership and you have friends and you do those types of things. He said, and in business, retiring on top, maintaining all of your ownership, that's a golden parachute. And then he explained the other way and said, but in this game, no one wins.
Wow.
And I was just like, wow.
That's deep.
So I studied him a long, 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 long time. And I saw where he made his mistakes. I learned from his mistakes too, you know. Um, but I always shied away from major label deals and things like that because I know people that have been signed to simply be put out of the way, you
Yeah.
know, to be
Yeah.
shelved so that they could push whoever, take the songs of that person and push whoever they really want to push their idea. And I have a friend who I also interviewed. He sits on the Grammy voting board of the Academy. He has 16 or 17 or 18 Grammy certificates himself for the work that he has done. His name is Thornell Jones Jr., and he's down in Miami at the Ovation Agencies, his agency. He, in his career, he worked with Diana Ross personally. He helped to produce or did produce Jill Scott's documentary, Being Jill Scott, and he's touched a myriad of other artists. And he has this theory. He says, and I said it wrong in the last one, so Thornell, forgive me. I called it the workhorse theory, but I knew what I was saying, but it was the racehorse theory. He said, in the industry today, all of the suits are this. All the talent is this. And he said, in this business, you have to be both to actually succeed. He says, but they don't allow you to do that. I mean, everything about me was so, and I'm just going to say this because it's true. Everything about me was so unprecedented. I started my own genre of music. Every single thing that I tend to do, it is the first of its kind. And we know that being a pioneer, you don't really get a lot of credit at first because it's like, they're like, what the hell are you doing? You're not doing it the way that everybody else is doing it. You're not going to make it. You're not going to do it. And I hear that all the time. I hear that all the time. But I'm at a place in my life where I'm betting on me because I know what I possess. I'm betting on me. And Thornell told me, he was like, yeah, you can do it. He said, you can do it. You can do it on your own. Keep doing what you're doing because you're teaching the lesson to the industry that they're not the only way. And it's a hard lesson because they've basically programmed our youth. We come up, and if we don't see your song on Billboard, if you're not charting on Hot 100, then you're not doing anything.
Yeah.
You're not on the radio, then you're not doing anything. But it's like, sweetie, there's a whole world out there where you can take your talents and go make a name for yourself. And I love that I'm at the phase in my life where I'm preparing because I'm going to take all of my talents that I own and leave for Europe. Paris is where I belong. I have a lot of connections there. I was fortunate to make a lot of famous connections there. And it's like, I'm going. And the race has been to get out of this country before they try to get me to sign something.
Yeah.
That has been the race. So anyway, I digress. So okay, yeah. So, but it just, being a pioneer, it just, spoke to what you said about the brand. Do you want to be a brand or do you want to be a product? And even in my business as a brand, I'm a brand, but I offer a product and a service. Most
Right.
businesses offer a product, other businesses offer a service. I got you covered both ways. Like it's just, like I've left nothing, no stone unturned, you know. So
And that's going to return back to you in monetary
yes,
compensation.
yes. And people get so mad with me about that, but I'm like, I learning the side of the because okay, before my grandmother, because my grandmother was my benefactor, still is my benefactor. She took her retirement. I've said this to other people, but it just never happened. So I'm so like grateful that it happened to me. She took her retirement and sank it into my career, which
Wow.
enabled me to be able to focus on my career and not have to work at another job. I was able to actually hone my skill and get it to a level where it became a brand and not just a product. So that's why I can sit here. But
I
at
love that.
yes, but at the same time, she made me study for years. The Queen of Shade is only 7 years old. She'll be seven on New Year's Day. I've been in this business 20 years. I've been with my grandmother for 16 years. So that from 2009 till about 2013, she made me study the business. She's like, I'm not giving you a dime until you know more about this business so that you can protect yourself. And that was her thing. And I was the one coming into her, her space going, oh, I got to do it this way because Billboard, and I got to do it this way because of Hot 100. And she was like, no, you don't. She was like, Hot 100 Billboard, that's one way. And she was like, what do you really want to do? And then that's when I cried and I broke down and I told her, I said, I don't want to do it here in America. She said, so where do you want to do it? I said, I want to go back to France. She said, then that's what you prepare for. That's your goal. I get people, why don't you, like I said, why don't you do walkthroughs? Why don't you do this? Why don't you do that? Baby, because I'm not here mentally. Spiritually, I'm not here. I'm not here. I work on this soil, but I'm not here.
And see, I can't speak for anybody else, but for myself, I no longer will do anything that places me in discomfort or things that I'm not really vested into. That's a waste of your time. You
Mm-hmm.
know, you're putting energy and half-ass energy
Mm-hmm.
into something that you don't care about or have any type of relevancy for. So I think that's awesome that you made those conscious decisions that you have, and that's why it's led you to the point where you're at now. And that goal is so much more closer now than what it would have been had you just done those things just to do it. Because we have so goals. It's more than just financial stuff. It's also more than just mental stuff. Um, it's about your universe. You know, is your universe working in a way that is going to keep on going? Can you keep going mentally? Can you keep going physically? Can you keep going financially? You know, are these things aligning with what you want those outcomes to be? If it's not, then don't do it. Only do things that align with that goal in mind. And if you stand by that and you stick with that, you will only progressively get closer and closer and closer to that true goal that you have for yourself and not the goals that you think you have. Because a lot of times we have goals that society has placed on us to make us think like this is the end goal. Well, guess what? I got a lot of money and That's not my end goal.
Yeah.
And that doesn't equate to always happiness. And I know a lot of people say, money can't buy happiness. Um, it really can't, because once you get to a certain lifestyle, that is your norm. And those things no longer fascinate you or excite you as they did prior to you achieving those things. So that's why I understand now more why these rich and famous people, they, commit suicide or overdose and all these other things. Was like, because you guys are not really understanding or really grasping what that person is truly going through. Imagine having everything that you want besides the one thing that you truly want. What's going to happen?
Mhm.
You can never accomplish that. You can never attain that. It's going to drive you insane. It's going to drive you mad.
Mhm.
And that's why I always, whoever I speak to, I always tell them again, if whatever you're doing doesn't align with your goals, get out of it.
Mhm.
Don't worry about what's going to happen. It doesn't even matter because you're already unhappy. you know? And I want to be as happy as I can be in life.
Yeah. I I shut up and let you say that because you said that. Mhm. You said that. You said that. No, you're right. Because get this, I have so many young artists that I mentor, and I'm trying to break them out of what they've seen. They're so obsessed with the chains. They're so obsessed with the diamonds. They're so obsessed with the music visuals. They're so obsessed with what the industry being the predominant force and factor of entertainment being what it is, that they don't even believe, they won't even try another way. And then I come along and others like me, and we're going, oh no, do it this way, do it that way. You got the money? Oh, it's only $2,000 to trademark your name. And then you can use it as a brand. You can take it abroad and you can do this and you can do that with it. And you can do this and you can do that with it. And they're looking at us like, they're like, oh, well, I hadn't thought about that. But then they still run back to what's familiar.
Exactly.
And sadly, I've had to let them. I can't be mad with them. And then I've had so many of them say, I made a mistake. And
Yep.
and now I'm contractually bound. And I say to them, sweetheart, there's nothing I can help you with now because you signed. So now
You
that
gave your power away.
you gave everything away. Let me tell you something. One night, this was probably like maybe 9 years ago. I have this song, and it was one of the first songs I ever sang and recorded when I went pro in 2009 and became a professional singer. And it's called Black Stilettos. When I did the song, a certain celebrity musician called me. Mm, I don't want to say his name.
Okay, listen.
Okay, I'm like, but
You
I'm
trying to get
just
in
like,
trouble around here. Listen.
right? I'm like, mm. Well, he called me, and his people were on the phone as well, and he says to me, he says, "Is this your song?" And I said, yes, Black Stilettos. He goes, who wrote it? I said, I do. I did. Who did the melody? I did. But my producer plays by ear. So she played the notes that I sang her. He says, wow, you have a really, really big gift. I said, thank you. He said, how would you like to go on tour with me and another big artist who shall remain nameless? How would you like to go on tour with us? Oh, I saw him. Say, bring him up
Yeah.
here. Bring him up here. Bring him up here.
He's like, why am trying to get up here? He's like, jumped up here.
Yes.
Saint,
Okay, my kid
Saint,
is
gonna
yeah.
say hello, Saint.
Say
See,
hi.
this is what he does. He likes to turn over and me rub him, literally.
Yeah, he loves his daddy.
Yeah, he is funny. He is a character. He's like, you're not giving me no attention. Meanwhile, before all of this, we
Uh-huh.
literally were on the couch, laid up together, cuddling.
He's a lap dog. I love them. They're like babies. They're like babies.
They are, and he's literally as sweet as can be. And the bond that I have with him
Yeah,
is like unmatched. It's really interesting because I've always been raised with dogs,
yeah,
and I've always had a strong connection with every dog that I have. But with Saint, it's
yeah,
like I pushed him out or something, you know?
yeah, yeah. I love animals, and they. I have something to say about that too. They will love you no matter what your life is too. They will love you. It will always be unconditional. They'll never look at you different, like you, like, oh, you fucked up, or oh, your life isn't what it is. They will love you. They will look at you like, Daddy, you ready to go for a walk? Like
Yeah.
always. And to me, I used to say this in some of my videos to people. I'm like, you don't want a boyfriend. You don't want a girlfriend. What you want is a puppy. I used to say that. And many people that went over so many people's heads. But then when I would talk and go elaborate, they're like, oh my God, you're right. Yeah. Yeah. Cause you need, a lot of us have abandonment issues. So you need somebody that's going to be there and love you and, spoil you with their presence. Boyfriends and girlfriends, they got to go. They got to run. They
Yeah.
got their lives. They can't lay up with you all the time. It's counterproductive. So animals, they fill that void for us. They really allow us to love in a way that transcends our
Yeah.
normal way of living and loving. So,
That's just amazing that you said that. And I know we kind of pivot because of Saint, but people need companionship.
yep.
And people identify companionship with relationship. And I
Yep.
tell people, they always tell me, oh, I want a relationship, blah, blah, blah. Can you help me, give me advice, all these different things? Because at one point, I used to give relationship advice, but it's another subject. But I tell people, what you need in your life right now, it's not a boyfriend, it's not a girlfriend. You need companionship. And I would tell people, get a dog
Yep.
or even cultivate the relationships that you have with the people that are in your life.
Yeah.
Because what is happening is you guys have this free time and you equate that loneliness as in, oh, I don't have a boyfriend or a girlfriend. I'm just so alone. It's no. Invest that time back into yourself. Give you 100% of you.
Mhm.
And I'm gonna say 90%, 95%, maybe even 98% of people do not actually fully give themselves them.
Yep.
And people don't understand the serious consequences that has long term because what happens is yeah, you end up getting that boyfriend or girlfriend and you're with them for the wrong reasons or you get with them and it's rushed and now you're going from relationship to relationship to relationship and you're trying to figure out what is wrong. Well, the answer is you
Yeah.
you haven't succumbed to yourself.
Yeah.
That's why that void is there. That's why you lack that that inside feeling, and that's what that companionship will
Yeah.
fit. And a companionship is not just with a person or a dog or cat or any type of animal. Companionship can be with a hobby.
Yeah.
Is this something that you love? Does this bring you excitement?
Yeah.
Do you feel inspired by that? That will fill you.
Yeah.
And that need for companionship will no longer be a need. It'll be a want,
Yes.
you know?
Yes.
Oh, it's great.
I love that. I'll get back to what we were talking about in a second,
Yeah.
but I love where we went with that because of Saint. Because I years ago I had a woman, Jamaican woman, stop me on the streets in New York City. And she said to me, she said, and I'm gonna tell you exactly what she said to me. She said, you're gonna be like Barack Obama. She said, meaning you're gonna come out of nowhere and have an extremely, extremely successful career. She said, let me give you a word of caution. She said, invest your money in animals because they will love you no matter what your life is. She said, young men will, and get it. She looked right at me, tell I was gay and everything. She said,
Okay.
yep. She said, young men will only take your money and leave you with nothing. And I looked at her and I said, thank you for the information and taking the time to let me know because I was a total stranger to her. And the funny thing is in June, I got my first boyfriend ever in life. I had never had a boyfriend before.
I remember you posted about it.
Yeah. And I had known him 20 years. But even in what you were saying, I didn't want to move in with him. I didn't want, our lives to be uprooted. I wanted him to continue to do what he was doing, me to continue to do what I was doing. I was looking for companionship. I have me. I have the career of my dreams. I'm happy with me. And so I wasn't looking for him to really be my boyfriend. And I thought because, hey, we were going to be polyamorous, that would be okay. That would be the thing. So then it meant that I really didn't have to give up my life or my boys or anything that I was doing. But I wanted to iron out, basically the parameters of our relationship. What's it going to look like? What's it going to do? What's it going to do this? What's it going to be? And then when I realized when he wouldn't iron out with me, I realized he didn't want a boyfriend either.
Wow. I mean, it's powerful. It's
Yeah,
powerful.
he didn't want a boyfriend either. So that was the issue with both of us. And I'm telling you because you also have this. I told you you got these gifts, but what you say, he didn't want a boyfriend either. And it was me that pressed him. I was so excited about it that I pressed him. And I shouldn't have pressed him. And, there were things that happened. He was a little vicious with his tongue, you know,
Okay.
and yeah, yeah, he was. But my attitude was, and I kept saying to him, I don't want to fight with you. I don't want to fight with you. I'm not going to fight with you. Because my attitude and what I wasn't conveying was, you're just here to be my companion. I
Yeah.
didn't even, he lives in New York. I live in Philly. I didn't even need him in my space. I'm in my space. you know, I was going to go see him and we do what people do when they love each other. And, then I'd come on back and go on about my business all around the world, just continue to do. But I don't think we both understood what I was looking for or what he was looking for. He cried when I told him that I wanted him to be my boyfriend. He was very happy for that because he loved me for many, many years. He loved me for 20 years. That was no exaggeration. He loved me for 20 years. I met him. It was love at first sight. And even to this day, we are still, there's no love lost. I don't talk to him as much as I used to, but because I'm trying to give him time and space and therapy, he's in therapy, he's dealing with a lot of things. So I'm trying to give him time and space. But yeah, I didn't want a boyfriend and I realized that. And in that realization, I realized, and I have a cat. I realized I didn't want a boyfriend. So he is so it's like the special thing about him is you were the first and you were the last because I'm not doing that again. I'm not
Yeah.
doing I don't want that. I want to be companion because see, I'm the type of person, you probably have heard me say this in other videos, but I'm the type of person who pays for it, honey. I pay for it. I love escorts. I love the whole idea of it being a client to supplier kind of exchange. You know what you're supposed to do. I tell you what I like. I know what you fulfill the fantasy, and then you get the hell out of my space
Yeah.
so that I can do what I really love, which is focus on this. Focus on this. This is like you said that, like you have the one thing in your life that makes you feel so alive and that you enjoy the most. It's this. This is that for me. I enjoy because it's not just me helping others. I heal through this myself. It's very cathartic. It was my psychiatrist that suggested I start this whole thing in the beginning. My
That's
psychiatrist was
powerful.
like, yeah, he was like, she was like, you're very talented. Lean on your talent. And I was like, oh, I don't have no money and da 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 da. I cried about it. And she said, listen, lean on your talent. Your talent will provide you with everything you need. And she was right, because as I did my talent and my grandmother watched me and she saw what I was doing, she said, okay. She said, you're really serious about this. What do you know about the business side? And I started humming, and she's like, and now mind you, I've been in 20 years, but I had never really done a factual study. There was a lot that I saw. But then when I started to do a factual study, she saw that it was actually the business side of the business that I fell in love with. I love that more than just this. I love knowing where everything is going, how it's going,
Yeah.
what's doing. I am obsessed with that because
It's
it's like
exciting.
it is because I can literally like the great thing is like I don't go like transvestite, not transgender. So I leave my house and I'm me and I'll go somewhere and it's the craziest thing to be recognized because even the people that recognize me, there is such a level of respect. I couldn't have demanded it. I couldn't have made or forced that and said, I want you to treat me like that. They treat me so well because finally they see all of me. So it's like I walk up and they're like, hey, Queen, how you doing? Like I was at the doctor's yesterday, and she says to me, she goes, well, Thursday. She says to me, she was weighing me. She's like, oh, you weigh 171 pounds. I'm like, that's the most I've ever weighed in my life. I'm gonna get it down. I'm gonna get it down. I'm gonna get it down. She's like, but a lot of that is muscle. I'm like, I'm gonna still get it down. You know, I got to be in the 60s, 160. So 165, 166, somewhere in there is usually my ideal weight. So, and I'm only 5'11. So she's weighing me and she's telling me my weight, and I didn't even know. Like, this is my doctor's office. She's a nurse. So she leans over and she says, by the way, how are you, Queen of Shade?
Ah!
And I said,
You
oh my
gagged. Your
God.
mouth dropped like.
Yeah. I was like, I said, you know what I do? She said, yes. She says, I watch you now. And get it, this is a Caucasian lady. It's Caucasian lady. So she says to me, she says, I watch you because I love how powerful and how positive you are. And I said to her, and I love it because then I could just, outside of a wig, I said, I thank you so much for taking the time to watch what I do. She says, I'm going to continue to watch. Keep doing what you're doing. And people don't understand like where we're going with that ownership. Can you imagine if I had to, can you imagine if someone else owned the Queen of Shade if I signed it over? Next thing you know, and I'm just going to say this because that's how the industry is, they'll take a Black person's work and put it on a white person. That's the
Yep.
treatment. That's the treatment. That's what they'll do. So then all of my sayings and everything that I signed over and copyrights and everything that I've said that's been copywritten will be coming out of some white person's mouth to make them look all powerful again. And I'm like, no. And I'm so glad that I listened to my grandmother. But anyway, backtracking real quick.
Okay.
Let me finish. Let's because we went a beautiful way. That was a
We
beautiful.
did. It was no, that was like amazing. And people
That
are
was
gonna love
amazing.
that little.
Yeah, that was amazing. That's
Yeah.
it. So anyway, just to make a long story short, this person asked me to go on tour with them. And the reason why I brought it up is because I was actually at that time, without my grandmother knowing, I was looking to sell the song Black Stilettos for,
Wow.
for more capital. And that was the song that they were interested in. So, but they were trying to get me to go on tour and this, that, and the other. And I said, no, thank you. And the artist got mad because nobody tells him no. And he's like, may I ask you why? And I said, and I mean, right off my tongue, I said, because I'm not a lunchbox. I didn't prepare this entire meal inside for you to come along and slap your name on the outside like you made it or found it.
Wow.
You didn't find me. So you'll never work in this business. You know, you get all of that. They try to kick you while you're down. You'll never get work in this business and you'll never make it. Da, 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 and slam the phone in my ear. Well, years later, I'm here, and that very famous musician is here, but let's just say his freedom has been impeded.
Mm.
That's how
How it is.
that's how
There's trade-offs in everything in life, and every decision you make has a reaction to everything. And like you said, where you're at and where he's at,
yeah,
once that freedom is taken from you, you're
yeah.
stripped of that. Those shackles are heavy, and
Mhm.
that is a deep price you have to pay.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
on the outside, you washed up, but
Little.
feet below, you
Mm,
shackled.
mm.
And that is a blessing that you were able to say, you know what, this is not what I'm signing up for.
Nope.
This is what I will not accept.
Mm-mm.
And regardless of what you may or may say about me or what may or may not happen for me in the future, it doesn't even really matter
Nope.
because I have something that you want that I still obtain.
Yeah. Because at the end of the day, he's a slave to someone bigger.
Exactly.
So you hit that on the head. And I love where we're going with this because ownership is what I preach. It's very difficult for me to take on a mentee that's trying to get signed to a major label. Why? I'm like, why? And then the new slavery out here is kind of sad because if we go back to our ancestors in Africa being enslaved, they used us to catch us back then.
That is
So,
so true.
yes. So look at where I'm going. The new slavery is now you have Black artists signing other Black artists to deals under them that are significantly far less than even what they were offered. So now the artists are trying to sign people to them to make money off of those people off their backs. They're trying to do it the way that it was done to them.
Yep.
It's the only way they know. And it's
And
like,
it's only that they can propel forward at this point because they already signed their life away. And you can only repay a life with a life.
oh, say that again.
You can only repay a life with a life.
Damn, Leon, that was good.
That's crazy, right?
Yeah, but you're absolutely right. You're absolutely right. Mm. I'm
I
really,
know that was just like fire just now.
yes,
Like
I had to take it in. I had to take it in. I had to take it in. I had to take it in because it makes me so grateful for sticking to my guns, letting them
yeah,
call me crazy, letting them call me insane, letting them say I'd never work, letting them say I'd never be, letting them say I'd never do, I'd never have. All of it was worthy. It was worth it. It was worth it. It was worth it. It was worth every single thing they said. Oh, you'll never do this. You'll never do that. Whatever. Because every single day that I open my mouth and I come to this camera, people are helped. I'm
that's so
saving
true.
lives. Saving
You've
lives.
helped me just in this time frame that we shared with one another. It's helped me in your videos have helped me because I'm very, like you said, like I'm very aware of everything that I do,
Mhm.
everything I'm a part of. I'm aware,
Mhm.
and I have the intent behind everything.
Mhm.
And your videos have helped me realize that continue to have that same intent. Continue to push out the message that you're trying to
Yeah.
appeal to people because it's going to those that's going to evoke regardless.
Yes. Yes.
And it made me because as you go, I think you question a lot of things that you do, and you think about just how social media and the internet and things have kind of also affected different things. And you have to sit back and ask yourself, okay, who am I?
Mm-hmm.
What am I?
Mm-hmm.
What am I doing? Who am I affecting?
Mm-hmm.
And you can become very lost in this easy game.
Mm-hmm.
Like you said, these black artists sign other black artists
Uh-huh.
because they're just following the trend that was set. And yes, the upfront is all beautiful and it's all nice and it's packaged pretty.
Mm-hmm.
But that long term, and oh my God, it's craziness going on outside. But your videos definitely just helped me reapply what I knew about myself and reiterate that, yo, you're that guy.
Yup.
And don't let nobody tell you otherwise. So I'm appreciative just of you and your being and who you are and the essence and the message that comes across from all your pages. And specifically your Instagram, you get a lot of you,
Yeah.
but you also get a lot of other things.
Yeah.
And I think that people can look at you and say that this is a well-rounded individual, and they can get that coming across your page, and they can say that when they went to your page, that when they leave that page, because it's easy to click a page and go on, they're gonna remember you
Thank you.
every single time.
Thank you. A lot of people do. They tell me that. And it's just and that's another thing. I champion for Black and Latin men. I champion for you guys because the world wants us, but the world wants to take from us. The world wants to rob us. They don't want to pay us what we're worth. It's a very dangerous game out here for us, and especially, being of the community. It's just so much. But I just want to let you know right now, even in your statements of, who am I, and this is that and the other, nothing that you have done has been bad. You have, let me tell you something. You know what I'm talking about. You have never made a mistake in anything. You have blessed us. Trust me. You have
Thank
blessed
you.
us. You have blessed us. Like literally, you have blessed us. Okay. So it's just like what I don't like about the regular thing way of business is that what I don't like is, and I say this a lot, we as African Americans, it's very difficult to have a culture here in America, is what I'm saying, because our culture was stripped and stolen from us. So you get a lot of Black people, a lot, damn, far too many, Leon, that believe that they should adopt Anglo-Saxon culture, that they should, the only way to be seen as prestigious and the only way to be seen as reputable is to mirror what they see from our white counterparts. And it's like, no, sweetheart, that's their culture. That's there. We have to have our own culture and we have to like find it. We have to, like, it's so crazy because we have to. I follow a lot of people from actually Thursday of this week coming. I'm having an interview with a guy from Nigeria who has been following me for years. And yeah, I'm international. It's crazy. So he's been following me for years. And now he's this big time choreographer in Nigeria. And he has this entertainment company in Nigeria. And it's really beautiful, but he's been with me for so long. And it's just something about Africa. Like when you look at them, they have like it's not Anglo-Saxon. It's
Yeah.
them, it's Black people, you know? And a lot of us here, what I do love, because here we go, the beauty of the internet, the beauty of social media, you can find things that you feel will fit your life and adapt them. You can bring them in. So that's a good thing. But I just, woo, I got so many followers and this is going to be bad, but I am so truthful. I don't ever want someone to assume that I am trying to be white.
That's
I don't
deep.
want someone, yeah, I don't ever want someone to ever assume. I may have gone in the second half of my life from teenage years, from middle school to high school to a Caucasian school. But if anything, that Caucasian middle school and high school taught me to love me. They taught me to be me. It wasn't to assimilate and be like them. They praised me for being me. So I've always had a very strong sense of self because even the Caucasians that I was around were like, be yourself, you know? And unfortunately, nowadays things are changing. That was the year 2000. That was 96 to 2000. So it was a different time. But I don't want people to think that the bar or the level of success is Anglo-Saxon. Oh, well, the
Right.
queen, the queen, well, she speaks this way and she does this, that, and the other. And most Black people don't speak like that. You're wrong. I'm a Black person and I speak like this, period.
Period. We
Articulate.
give we give that culture too much power over us.
Yes.
And I have dealt with that firsthand, being
Yeah.
that I mean clearly I'm mixed and I definitely I use big words on a day-to-day basis. I talk very proper.
Yeah.
I'm in very much so corporate world, so I can code switch. We can play the game all day long.
Yeah.
I'm still Black. You
Yes.
know, that is me. That is the essence of who I am. One Black person can't strip away another person's Blackness just because I don't fit your idea of what that is. But what is Black? I feel like currently in the world, we're experiencing an era. A lot of it is due to social media, and a lot of it also just because times have changed. There's no sense of culture, and we're trying to identify what that culture is. But thank God that times have changed and have evolved. That now you have all these different. Being Black is so much larger than what it was growing up.
Yeah.
It's so many varieties, so many different things now that you can. If you want to learn about something, you can access it. And like you said, you can adapt that into who you feel you are, the essence of who you are, but you are still black regardless.
Yes.
Your skin doesn't change.
No. No.
Because I may be less black than the next person because of DNA, I'm a black man,
Yes.
you
Yeah.
know?
And
And people,
yeah.
they will try to demonize us
There you
for
go.
being educated or talking proper,
Yeah.
but they correlate that to being white.
Yep.
Stop giving them that power because, for one, I know white people that they
Right.
are gutter butt talk country and they're on the furthest thing from sophistication, you
Get your
know.
black ass off my lawn.
All right, all of that. So I just hate that people that black people have that mentality of that. But we also want to give ourselves the credit because a lot of people don't know this, but most of the products
Yeah.
and things that are out in the world, things that we use on a day-to-day basis,
Yeah.
were all created by black men and women.
Yep.
And this has been the same pattern. And this isn't a bash Caucasian people
Right.
or KSMB. It's more so that our culture has always been stolen from us and
Yeah.
repainted in this picture,
Yes.
which is why we try to assimilate that
Yes.
and try to strive for, like you said, Anglo Assassin's
Yeah.
version of life, the white
Yeah.
picket fence. No, we have to define who we are
Yeah.
by us.
By
We have to
us.
define what is culture to us. And that is so much larger now because of the access, which it can make them more difficult for people to kind of figure out where they belong
Yeah.
because you're trying to search and you're trying to find that. But because there's so many options now, you're not for sure. Well, guess what? The beauty in culture is that it's large
Yep.
and that you can experience any part of that culture that you want to as you please.
Yeah.
And that doesn't mean that once you try this or this is what you do, let's say you start becoming a gothic black person.
Yeah.
You may not be gothic in 4 years. They
Yeah.
may have been your phase and what you experienced, but that still cultivated your perception of what culture is.
Yeah.
And especially us in the community, we have had a very um, hard time with figuring out what culture is because of the displacement within the black community.
Yeah.
And even within our community, it's segregated.
Yeah. You know,
But
I had to in music. Wow. In music, I had to face that because I don't Thornell, again, he used to say to me, when you start music and you're a black artist, you start in R&B. They rarely ever do they start a black act out of the gate in pop.
yeah,
So he was like, they always start you in black music. Well, according to critics, according to people, according to um, the industry, I don't sing black music. I am more, and this is the thing, most people don't even know what my music is. And working in the industry and being in the studios and talking to top producers and music critics, I learned that even my music is not even pop. I had to come up with my own genre of music. And I named it French Twist because I take really sad situations in my life and I add a beat to them and we dance over my pain. And while you're dancing, having a good time to the beat, when you start to listen to the words, it's all sad because that was a lot of my life. It was sad. So I call that French Twist. It's very avant garde. There are elements of pop, but it's not pop. And I had to deal with that for a long time. I've had people showcase my album before and they say, oh, well, this is different. If you like alternative music, then give the Queen of Shade a spin. But I had to realize within myself, I'm a black man. I invented my genre of music. So what does that make my music? Black. Black. A black man came up with this genre of music. That's what it is. And one artist that comes to mind that incurred this in her career, and it was so crazy because the woman could sing anything, but Whitney Houston,
Yeah.
they
Oh
told her
yeah.
her music wasn't black enough, and she really took to heart that pain, and she took that to her grave, trying to appease them. But what she should have realized, because she was a Leo, is that my music is black because I'm a black woman singing it. That's what makes my music black. But she hadn't quite gotten there yet. But that's where I am with everything that I do. This is a black experience. This is a black experience. I'm pro us. Now I got classmates, I got friends, I got all over the world. And it's like, and they're different nationalities, cultures, and creeds. But I'm not about to abort my culture to what? Incur favor with them.
Right.
I'm not jumping ship. I'm not jumping ship. I enjoy being a black man. There are a lot of things about being a black man that I really enjoy. Even when it comes down to, I don't want a boyfriend, but even when it comes down to the flavors of black man, it's just like I couldn't imagine my you can get me in trouble.
Okay.
I had to stop. You're gonna get me in trouble. But because I got a lot of people that watch me of all different races, colors, nationalities, and creeds, but they need to understand something. I'm a black man, and I will always be for my own. Period. I just have to say that. I will always be for my own. I will always uplift my own. You will not get me if it is a situation where you want me to sell out or belittle another one of mine. That ain't happening.
Yeah.
That ain't happening. So
But most people don't like that in our culture.
yeah, and that's what they do. They say, and get it. Yeah. So quick to fight each other. So quick to fight each other.
It's really sad.
Mm-hmm.
But the problem is that is all we know is to fight one another. It's all we know, unfortunately. And the pioneers that step up and try to change that narrative, it's not popular.
Yeah.
So because it's not popular,
Yeah.
we're not going to pick this narrative up. We're going to continue to place the same narrative that we like to fight, we ignorant, that we spend our money on clothes and shoes, and that's all.
Yeah.
Those typical black stereotypes that were stamped on. And again, black people like to reinforce those things because they don't want to be, I hate to say this, but black people sometimes they're scared to be original.
Yep.
And that equates into all areas of their life.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm the type of person, I've always been like this my whole life. If I see something wrong, I don't care where I'm at, I don't care who it is, I'm gonna speak on it. That's why for the most part of my life, I'm drama free. But for the times that I've had to bring that character out, that person had to be present,
Yeah.
it was for the right reason.
Yeah.
My intent behind what I was doing. But we have to get past this. We got to fight one another to move up.
Yeah.
We should be stepping stones for one another.
Yes.
Always.
Always.
Even when it comes to, and people are not going to understand, this is going to go over people's heads, but even your enemy,
yeah,
that is still your brother. That is still your sister.
Yeah.
You should find a way that you can mend that relationship so that at least there's a mutual respect or love for one another, because fighting each other only divides us.
Yes.
And it will only continue to. And black people, we don't like to heal from things.
Yeah.
We will hold on to something our whole life, mm-hmm. and we'll have that perspective. Told you, Northern Southern slangs. But that perspective, you will continue to think about that, and you won't realize until it's too late. And now it's 30 years done passed, and you're like, dang, had I just changed my perspective on things or thought about things in a different light, I might have reacted differently back then. And we need to start doing that earlier, start healing faster and adapting. Yeah. And honestly, just learn to get over shit. Yeah. And don't be afraid to say you don't know something or you need help. or to ask. Don't be afraid to ask for a favor. Don't be afraid to embrace one another. Don't even be afraid to hug each other. I mean, it's just crazy. We've become so displaced that we don't even value a life, and that's why gun violence and violence in general is just so rampant. And just like even with social media, people are quick to post fights. I have always been the person that says, "Do not post it. Do not." This only perpetuates that narrative that we don't know how to conduct ourselves. And in all of those fights, everybody's quick to
Yep.
record, film, egg it on. There's
Yep.
nobody taking a stand in those moments and being like, yo, why are we fighting? Why are we all sitting around here recording them? Why are we not all stepping in to break this up?
And you know what's so crazy, Leon? And then our Caucasian counterparts look at that and say, look, they're animals like we said they were.
Yeah,
They're barbaric like we said they were. They
yeah,
will never really be civilized. And this is why they don't deserve rights. This is why we should overturn. Like this is why these things are
right,
happening in our country right now. This is why young Black men are dying, because that narrative is out there. Look at them. They're animals. They fight. Look at them. Look at them recording. Ain't nobody stepping in and doing the right thing. They're beating each other bloody. They're snatching off each other's wigs. They're rolling around on the ground. Look at that. They are savages. And they need to be civilized by us.
yeah.
That's why they have to be policed. And nobody understands what they are saying, because that's what's coming. That's what this is. Everybody's talking about defund the police. Well, sweetie, the police are needed because you keep going at your brother and your neighbor and your cousin with
About
guns.
some baby daddy.
Yeah, like you keep doing this. You are, listen, get in trouble.
Okay, listen, it's getting real Negro spiritual right now.
Right? Listen, they are not going to defund the police when we as Black people keep the police in business.
Right.
There's a necessity for the police. They're not policing suburbia. They're policing us.
Yeah.
It's us. And then people want to get upset because, oh, well, my son wasn't doing anything. It was wrongful this, it was wrongful that. Well, you have to remember, sweetheart, just like they have perceptions of us, we have perceptions of them. They see a Black man, they're automatically afraid because they don't know how he's going to act. And then they know that he has a problem with authority. See, I don't like authority, but I will comply if I have to, if it doesn't break the law.
Right.
Like how can you not follow the rules and regulations of your land? And you expect to what? Now, yes, Lord, why? I gotta go there because that's my job,
Yeah.
So, we always talk about the prison system and we talk about how they're privately owned and we talk about how there are so many wrongfully accused Black men behind bars. Well, what about the rightfully accused?
So true.
What about
That's
the
deep.
rightfully accused?
Deep.
What about the right? I'm gonna say it again, three times a charm. What about the rightfully accused?
But it's so deep, and they're not saying that at all. You don't hear them talking about that. And that is not to negate the fact that there are a lot of wrongfully accused,
Yes.
but there are a lot of rightfully accused. But
Yes.
then there's one thing I always like to highlight. So even for myself, yes, you can be in wrong time, wrong place sometimes, and it happens. But for you to be even sometimes accused or guilty by association because you're in those environments or you're in this type of whatever case may be, I purposely throughout life have assessed the situation and say that I have no business being a part of that. I value my life, my freedom too much to be even associated with certain things. And Black people, we don't go with our better judgment in situations where we have the opportunity to do so.
Mm-hmm.
That's just like, unfortunately, with Takeoff. Rest in peace, rest his soul. He's a great artist, and he was pretty much unproblematic.
Yeah.
as far as rappers goes. Wrong place, wrong time. Well, somebody, Quavo was allegedly, beefing or arguing with somebody that was there with them, and that's when the gunshot pulled out. Why are we even in these environments where it's not safe, where they're not even checking? You're a celebrity and you're worth millions of dollars, and your livelihood and other people's livelihood is based off you being alive and prospering life. Why are you in those type of situations? Avoid it.
You know
Black
what?
people don't like to avoid those things.
I'm gonna tell you why. Because let's look at it. Um, when was the last Migos tour?
Chile.
Okay.
Well, they got a lot of
Listen,
well, they had
listen,
a lot of stuff going on. The group broke up. Offset
listen,
bought his rights. A lot of
listen,
different stuff.
listen. So exactly. They had a lot going on. So the club environment being the walkthrough, being the celebrity of the evening, getting paid to show up to the club to bring more business into the club. That's about all our people can get right now. That's why
Yeah.
they're there. They're not being asked to speak at Yale. They're not being asked to speak at Howard. I'm gonna go. Let's go HBCU. They're not being asked to speak at Howard about overcoming obstacles and raising up and the hard work that it took for them to become the Migos.
All right.
They're not doing that. They popping bottles. Now listen, celebration is good. Celebration is great. You celebrate yourself. But when does celebration become an addiction as well?
Yeah.
And the only thing you do.
Yeah.
I've been asked to do club walkthroughs. I am not doing that shit. She don't do that. I am 40 years old. I'm of a particular age. There are certain places I don't like to go. And even though I'm not sleeping right now, I'm in my bed at a certain time.
Okay.
I'm not doing the walkthroughs. I'm not doing that like that. I want to make my money, and I've set up my brand to make my money from everything that I do.
Well, to go back to earlier, like I said, every decision that you make has multiple set of outcomes. And in that event with Quavo and Takeoff, y'all shooting dice at a bowling alley. Doesn't even make sense. You know what I'm saying? It's like
Who
this could have
brings
been
a
completely avoided.
gun? Who brings a gun to a bowling alley?
Yeah, yeah, which is crazy. It's just the whole situation crazy. But it's like things like that could have been avoided had you been like, why are you even arguing with somebody? It's like I just before it even got to that point, it's not even worth it. But again, black people, we put ourselves in situations that we can't get out of, and then we deal with the consequences of it, and which can result in a death. And it's just like even fights at clubs. People don't understand how scary that really is
Mm-hmm.
because you're just looking at, oh, you're drunk, you're trying to have a fun time, or you're recording out looking at the fight. At any second, any of those individuals could have pulled out a gun and just start loading off in the club. Or a gun could have went off by accident and killed somebody. Or I mean anything, bigger fights could have break out. And it's like when these things are happening, you need to evacuate. You need to leave, get up out of that because you have no business being in these situations. But, it's just crazy. But back to our main point, just black people, we just have to do better in all aspects of our life and start holding each other accountable for the things that we do and are not doing and start speaking up for what needs to be said.
Yeah.
If not, the same things are going to continue to happen. And
Yeah.
even for that difficult person that you can't break through to, we so quick to just drop them and let them go like, nah, whatever. I ain't got time to deal with it. Break through with that person. Find out how can you help that person. Because that one person's life that you can change,
Yeah.
they can go change 10 other people's lives.
Yeah.
And then they can go change 100 people's lives. And that's
Yeah.
just going to keep on happening. And again, we are each other's foundation because the Caucasian folks or any other race, they all band together and they all help one another out. That's why you look at nail salons, they are predominantly owned by Oriental folks.
Yeah.
And they're passed down to families. Once they get one business up and growing,
Yeah.
they invest to the next family member. Now they got 5 nail salons in the
Yeah.
family business, and everybody's constantly employed. They're getting tax breaks, stuff like that. They live with one another, so they save money. Black folks, we just want to I feel like we want to be heard and seen so bad, but
Yeah.
we're going about it in
So,
the most obvious wrong ways and a lot of times,
yeah. And
you know?
I learned a long time ago, and it's so sad. I learned a long time ago that I would be the only Black person in a lot of situations, especially going to Europe. I learned that, but I'm going to represent for Black people. I bring my brothers with me when
Absolutely.
I go. And oh, don't think that's just in name only, because I have a lot of ideas, especially about fashion, because I have never seen a sexier body than one that belonged to Black men. And you can dress it and drape it and put it in suits or do whatever. It can wear fetish wear, it can wear anything. And I want to see more of a Black male presence in fashion and not just as a prop. When I went to Paris in 2005, they told me, listen to this. I went to be a model, and one of the agents told me, sweetie, I don't even know why you came here. And I
Wow.
said, well, what do you mean? I came here to be a model. She says, we don't have a Black market here. Black people don't wear our clothing. And I was like, I'm thinking like Louis Vuitton, Cartier. She said, yeah, yeah, yeah. But what about Kenzo, Emmanuel Angaro? She started naming real designers. And I'm like, ooh. She said, yeah, honey. She said, but you have an amazing smile. Keep smiling. Maybe something will happen to you because of your smile.
Wow.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
Maybe very, yeah. Naomi Campbell has always been vocal about it. More the presence, the need for more Black models in on the runway. She's championed that her whole career.
So true.
Because this is the problem. If you don't see Black people in luxury, you don't know it's possible. We need Black people in luxury. And the reason why I'm saying it is because you got quite a closet. You do. I've seen you wear amazing, amazing, amazing outfits. Designer.
I appreciate it.
Yes, designer. And you worked hard for it and you can afford it. And people, oh, well, why does he need it? Baby, he's the blueprint. You're the blueprint. If people can see that in social media, Black people wearing designer, then they say it elevates their faith. It elevates their faith because then they go, okay, well, let me do some damn work so I can afford this shit.
Yeah.
Like that. But get it. That's what the powers that be don't want to happen. They don't want that to happen. Like, and there are so many, and I know it because I already know, like I already know the divine has already talked to me about what I'm going to do and where I'm going. So there's a lot to do. There's a lot to do. And a lot of that is just going to have to be me being in the room. They
Yeah.
look around and see all these people and they're, oh, Queen of Shade in this meeting about hunger and all of these different, you got to see me. They got to see me. And my thing is, but I'm not alone. No, because when I do shows and things like that, I have a lot on my plate. But when things start to drop the way that I have envisioned them to drop, and my runway is nothing but Black people, and I give it to Balmain because Balmain does that all the time. Balmain, they do it all the time. Their runway is always Black, and I'm just like, oh.
Mhm.
Yeah, but Oliver, he
Olivier.
knows Olivier. Call him Oliver, but Olivier.
Okay, no, Oliver, no, Oliver.
No, it's Olivier. But
Yeah.
the French, it's Olivier. But literally, he always like we have to see that to know that it's possible. We have
And there are,
like, that's look at the Little Mermaid. We had to see Halle Bailey to be like, and there was a shoot, but there was an outrage. Why? Because they didn't want us to see ourselves there.
yeah.
What? We can be in this, we can they don't want us to, they don't believe we're equal to them. They don't want us to be equal to them.
But that's why we always feel like we're this, and that's why there's a difference with Black men understand. Are we trying to prove ourselves to them? Or are we trying to prove ourselves to us? And that's the thing.
That's the conundrum. That's why I sat back because I'm like, to me,
It is a conundrum.
it's to me, it's a little of both.
And it is a little bit of both because, we strive to want to have the nice things in life, but we're also trying to come across as acceptable. And we have to accept the fact that we're not accepted.
Yes.
you know,
Yes.
accept that. When
Yes.
you accept that I'm not accepted, but I'm still going to be me,
Yes.
that is when you are grabbing life by the balls and
Yep.
saying, I'm going to squeeze these things
Yep.
as tight as I want to, and
Yep.
ain't nothing you're going to be able to do about it.
Yep. Yep.
And I think for me personally, I have experienced, I don't want to say like racism, but that's like the easy way to put it, but I've experienced racism from everything that I'm mixed with. I've experienced it from both sides. I had white people tell me I'm not white enough. I had black people tell me I'm not black enough. And
Yeah.
I've always have been an outsider. On top of that,
Yeah.
being gay,
Yeah.
that threw a whole nother curveball into things. So I've
Doesn't.
always was in a state of displacement,
Yes.
and I found solace in accepting those things about me that I didn't quite fully grasp or understand. And I was able to say, you know what? Who even cares?
Yes.
All I care about is how I feel and the things that I do and how it makes me feel.
Mhm.
And as long as I'm not affecting others by my actions and my words, then I'm okay.
Yeah.
And they're going to accept me regardless
Yeah.
because this is all you're going to get from me.
Yes. Yes.
That's
Give
it.
them no choice. Give them no choice. The
You
choice
know,
I'm giving you is no choice. You're
yeah,
going to see what's in front of you right now, and that is what you're going to see. That's what you're going to get. Yes. Yes. And that goes for Caucasians and Blacks.
right.
You're going to get what you see in front of you right now, and there is no other option.
And if not, poke your eyes out.
Right? Okay, eyes out. Do something. Borrow my sunglasses or something.
Okay,
No, but you can't have these. Celebrity designer Corey Woods did
okay.
these. He did. Celebrity designer. Now I can plug him. Year Rock and Company, Year Rock by Corey Woods. He's a fashion designer, eyewear designer. He always
Love
shows
that.
up on the calendar in Fashion Week. Yeah, yeah, yeah. You can't have these, but get you a pair. Go to Rite Aid or something.
Y'all make sure y'all go check him out then.
Right?
And
Yeah.
and even in this moment right now, I mean, it's like
Yeah.
from one black creator to another black
Yes.
creator, we're empowering one another.
Yes.
And it's always been love
Yes.
since
Since I,
whether we comment back and forth,
yes.
talking in DMs, where
Right.
it's always been love back and forth, and that radiates and that manifests. And what happens is somebody is going to watch this and be like, wow,
Mm-hmm.
here are two
Mm-hmm.
black,
Successful.
successful,
Mm-hmm.
LGBTQ
Yup.
plus
Yup. Yup. Doing
that
this.
are doing it and living the truth. And then even outside of our community,
Yup.
two successful individuals
Yup.
being themselves as organically as possible, being
Yes.
forthcoming and being honest
Yeah.
and supporting each other. They're
Yes.
not tearing anybody down.
Mm.
They are speaking on real life experiences, what
Yeah.
they dealt, what they've been through, how they've overcame things, and spreading that love and positivity back into the world.
Yeah.
Because we could easily, like you said, we could have been sellouts. We could
Yeah.
be like, screw everybody. You know, you
Yup.
guys support
And
me, so I'm
only
going to
care
do
about
this.
ourselves, but that ain't the way.
Right. That ain't the way.
That ain't the way.
And that alone is going to bring both of us
Yeah.
blessing beyond what we can even imagine or fathom. And what I would like for somebody to understand is that what you put out into this world,
Yes.
if you do not think that those things come back to you, whether it's negative or positive,
Right.
they do.
They do.
In this universe, just like when there's catastrophe, there's hurricanes, there's tropical storms, tornadoes, the world is trying to say something.
Yup.
And people want to figure out my life isn't going good, my this, that, third, blah, 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 blah. There is something that is happening in the universe that you're putting out to, which is why the energy is coming back to you.
Yes. Yes. Yes.
Take a step back sometime.
Yes. Oh, say that, please. That's exactly what I was getting ready to say. Say
Okay.
that. Say that. Please say that.
Take a step back sometime.
Yes. Yes.
Have to.
You have to. You have to. I find that even at my age, I spend a lot of time, even when I'm not working, I spend a lot of time with myself. My grandmother has the whole downstairs of the house. I have the whole upstairs of the house. And if she doesn't call me, she won't see me because I have learned what it feels like to really be with myself, learn from myself, process with myself, understand the things that I'm going through or where I want to go next. Like everything about me is deliberate. Nothing is mindless anymore. I used to do that. I'd run on autopilot. Excuse me. I'd run on autopilot and I used to just, wherever the wind took me, the wind took me. I don't do that anymore. Everything, you cast seeds into the wind deliberately so that you know the direction that they're going to go and you can pinpoint where they're going to land and where they're going to germinate because you need to be able to later find that tree so that you can eat the fruit from it.
Wow.
Yeah, it's that. It's not just carelessly throwing seeds out into the world. No, like you said, with intention, you cast into the breeze. It's going to carry, approximately scientifically, it's going to carry this seed there. Okay, so I know it's going to go there. I'm casting into the wind, and then then you check it. Then there's the young tree that grows, and you come and you put the little band around the tree. See,
Mhm.
you don't understand that there are phases to this thing. You water that thing, it grows and it grows, and then it starts to eventually, years later, sometimes because people are about instant gratification. Ain't nothing over here about instant gratification. You have worked to be who you are. I have worked to be who I am. It's been decades. So it's not like, no. So eventually that thing bears fruit that then you get to eat. You are sustained by something you planted with intention. That's exactly how our actions and our thoughts are. Our behaviors, it is planted intentionally. This was deliberate. You and I are moving to higher heights and just deeper depths and just doing things. And it's only going to continue to get better. And people are going to see this moment and be like, oh my God, they shared space. Whoa, they shared space. It's like,
That's so
yeah,
true.
yeah,
And
yeah,
the funny thing is this, a lot of people don't realize when it comes to planting seeds, seeds, so they blossom, they grow.
yeah.
It's feeding others.
Yes, yes. The fruit that is bared is not just for us, it's everybody. Yes. And I used to say this, and that's why I don't like some of the things that have been said in corporate America, because the music industry is corporate America. People
Yeah.
don't realize that. But they always say you got to make it to the mountaintop. You got to make it to the mountaintop. Baby, the provision is not at the top of the mountain. The mountaintop is very narrow. It's thin air up there. Nothing grows. You can barely stay conscious up there. The valley is where everything is. Fuck the mountaintop. Nobody who's going up there? The trees, the water, the lake, the deer, the hunt, and all of that. It's down here. The wood to build a table because they won't let you sit at their table. The wood to build a table is down here with us. Everybody is in this pursuit to be number one. And it's like, baby, I don't need to be number one. I just need to be myself and I need to build this table over here. Nobody gets that.
Love
Nobody
that.
understands that. The real provision is in the valley. It's in the valley. And for our people especially, we have always been tricked into thinking that we have to leave our resources and go somewhere else where there's no resources. And then they divvy up our resources.
Come right behind.
Right? Africa, do you know, I was so upset. The continent of Africa, predominantly, is not owned by Black people. Private game reserves owned by the Dutch and the French and the English. Our country chopped up. Why? Oh, because we love Africa. But you farmed everybody and got the most of us out of here.
Yeah.
So that you could do what? Exactly what I said. Take our resources, our gold and our diamonds and our riches, and you plundered her. And then you own her. So we can't even enter your private game reserves. Or we face trespassing.
Right.
Or something worse. And this is our continent. This is where we came from.
This is
Leon,
crazy.
it just continues, Leon. It just continues. It continues.
And
Go ahead, say.
I'm saying it's crazy because recently Africa, they just banned certain non-black advertisements, and that is amazing
Yeah.
because what they're trying to do is
Yeah.
preserve
Yeah.
blackness
Yeah.
and culture.
Yeah.
And although some of their traditions are a little outdated, but they're trying to preserve tradition.
Yeah.
But that same mentality should be what we apply
Yeah.
to how we move and how we operate.
Over here. Mm-hmm.
Because, you know, I do love me designer stuff. I
Yeah.
do. They're great. But there are a lot of black brands that I have supported and wear on a weekly basis and
Yeah.
love.
Yeah.
And the things that I put out, I could be, now I don't deal with arguments, shit like that in my relationship. Like, well, I mean, our relationship like has arguments, stuff like that. But like, how these people be going online talking shit about their partner and going on live, going back and forth, all this other stuff, and doing that. Like, why?
Yeah.
When I can empower something, when I can speak positive things into existence or uplift another.
Yeah.
So we just have to get on the same page of pro black.
Yeah. You have to be
Just
pro
like when Issa Rae said, "Oh, who do you want to win?" She said, "Everybody black,
everybody black.
everybody black." And
Yup.
and I love her, like love her for saying that because it's like I don't even care.
Yup.
Everybody black is who I
Everybody.
want to see win.
Yup.
That's what I want to see happen. Everybody black, I want them to win. I want them to be the best version of themselves. I want them to conduct themselves in the best way they can. I want to enrich them. I
Yeah.
want that, I want the fruit from that tree to feed them for generations.
Yeah. Yeah. And it will if they, but see, that's another thing about our people. We got to let go of instant gratification.
Yep.
You can't listen. I know, like people say, oh, but I'm hungry now. Baby, you're not going to die. You're not going to die. You better take a smaller ration and stockpile your resources because you're going to need them. You're going to need them.
But you also need a fast.
Mm-hmm. Oh,
You need a fast.
yes.
Like you said, that instant gratification. Yeah, you can get instant gratification, and yeah, you can you can eat as much as you want, and you'll be full as ever. But that body needs to fast sometimes.
Yeah.
Things need to take time, and that's why you look at certain religious stuff like that. They fast for a month long.
Mm-hmm.
There's a reason behind that. There's an
Yeah.
intention.
It conditions the body too. Yeah.
Exactly. Conditions the body. We want instant gratification, but no, things have to take time. You have to remove yourself from things. You have to strip yourself. And Jim Carrey said it the best. If you can't reduce your lifestyle down for 2 years to attain your true goal, what are you doing in life?
What are you doing in life? Yeah.
You're not gonna get that. But I don't know. And that's why today I was like, we wearing black. You said we doing black, we black, we black, we
Look at
black.
that showed up looking like some Black Panthers.
Okay, exactly. Because it's black around here. It's a beautiful thing.
Yes.
Black, whenever I wear black clothes, it empowers me. It
Yeah.
makes me feel good about myself and it
Yeah.
makes me
Too.
look sexy, feel sexy.
Yeah.
And that's what I want people to know.
Yeah.
Black, we associate black, and it's crazy. In the world, black is associated with dark and sad and all that stuff.
Yeah.
Let's change those patterns. Let's
Change.
change that narrative. Let's change those how we view things, all that stuff. But things are changing and we're going through a cultural revolution right now.
Yeah.
I always like to compare it to during the Industrial Revolution. Uh,
Mm-hmm.
there was that's when jazz was starting to become really popular and the speakeasies were really popular and stuff like that. And that was an era, that was a culture that defined a moment in time. Black people, we are going through that spiritual awakening and we're about to define what culture is. And we are the pioneers for the next people to spearhead that. And like Dr. Martin Luther King and stuff like that, they were great political figures. We don't have those figures like as powerful
Right.
as I feel like he was, or our community doesn't follow those things. But we are sparking the change right now.
Yeah. We are. And leading it. And what I love is People are going to watch this at their leisure, and they're going to watch this not just today. I always tell people I make for tomorrow. So people are going to watch this for years to come,
Um,
years to come. And it's just going to be like, wow, 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 wow. Yes, we talked about it then. Yes, we did. In 2022, we talked about it too. Then, now it's 2032. Yes, we talked about it in 2022. Like that is so. And we both showcased our ability and showed that, two people coming together, we both represented ourselves in a very beautiful way, in a
I
very
agree.
educated way, in a very loving way. Now I gotta send you the picture I was going to use for the damn thumbnail, because you gotta approve. You gotta approve it now, because it's my favorite picture. But now you gotta prove it. You gotta improve it, approve it, because if it's not what you want to come out on this, then it won't be what you want to come out on this. I'll choose a different picture.
We're gonna
But
make it work.
yeah,
We're
no,
gonna get it
it's the
together.
one I
We'll get it
love. It's
together.
the one I love this picture. But that was just a segue real quick. But yeah, like
Okay.
just like I love that picture. The picture that I chose, it just is so, it just speaks. It speaks to me. So, but yes, I
I
have
love that.
really enjoyed having you here
I
today.
have. This was honestly not what I
Expected.
expected in a really positive way. And it's the conversations that we have, it just allowed me to think about a bunch of different ideas and things that I have pondered on. It also I'm finding comfort in I don't feel I feel connected
Yeah,
because oftentimes I feel alone in a lot of spaces.
yeah, yeah.
Um,
Me too.
and right now I feel heard, I feel seen,
Yeah,
and I appreciate this
yeah.
for what it is, and it's bigger than you and I.
Yes.
And that's the crazy part about it all. Is like this, it was a conversation, but like you said, how you and your spirituality and minds, what was supposed to be said was said.
And
So I thank you.
yeah. Give me three words that inspire you and empower you today.
Ooh,
Here we go.
3 words. Ooh, okay. That is really difficult on the spot.
I know this is the first, and then this is where it feels like an interview, because
Okay,
see,
now and listen, I'm here for it. So
only one
I'm
question,
actually ready for the questions.
right?
So 3 words that so you said 3 words that motivate me.
Yeah, motivate, inspire, empower.
So my first word would be mysteriousness.
Mm-hmm.
My second word would be adaptability,
Mm-hmm.
and my third word would be self.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
And the reason why I say those words, so oh wait, I just forgot the first one that fast. No, mysteriousness. So I choose mysteriousness because life's a journey,
Yeah,
and we come into this world a blank slate,
yeah,
and we go through different things in life. Everybody has a completely different path on what they experience in life, and it's a mystery.
yeah,
And it is up to you to unlock or unfold those mysteries. And I feel like as an individual, um, especially the last 2 years, I have become at peace
yes,
with my life, where I'm at, who I am, what I'm becoming. And those mysteries that I had have been solved.
yeah,
And now there's more mysteries
yeah,
ahead of me.
yeah,
Um, Adaptability, just because I've just always been a person that adapts, and whatever environment you throw me in, I'm going to succeed and prosper and be myself at
yeah,
the end of the day. Like I'm going to be me. And that is why I think I've been able to be so successful in everything that I've invested my time and money and interest and life into. It's always been positive for me. And even my life, I can look back at all the people that have helped me
yeah,
and the things that they have said to me, whether it be friend, family, both, whatever.
yeah,
I have adapted in those.
yeah,
I'm going to continue to adapt.
yeah,
And the reason why I chose self is because the only person in this world that I can truly rely on is
yeah.
myself.
You're so right. You are so right. Oh, that was so wonderful. You're so right, because at the end of the day, you have to make the final call. People can give you advice. People can say this, or you might want to do this, or you might want to do that. At the end of the day, that connection to yourself is what is going to be the deciding factor. I want to tell you something very quickly before we go. I recently reconnected, as last night actually. I reconnected with one of my friends from college, and I didn't finish college. I had to be medically withdrawn because I was
Wow.
19, and I had my first manic episode. I was diagnosed bipolar, PTSD, and
Wow.
acute anxiety disorder. So I had to sign out of college. And it was for many years, took me many years to get it under control. But she was there at the time that it happened. She was a friend of mine, and we talked last night. And it felt so good to be able to tell her my side of the story. Because, people said, people made assumptions as to what happened. They didn't really hear what happened from my side. So it was nice for us to kind of rehash it and talk about, well, this is what really happened and this is what really happened. But, she said something very powerful to me. She talked about moving forward and how, we're strong. And she said something about this. We were talking about religion. And she said to me, she said, listen, the Bible is nothing more than a journal. She said it's a journal of those people's lives, and it does not mean because you read it that you should take and adhere your life to what happened in their lives, because your two different lives is going to have two different outcomes. And
Wow.
I added to that. I said a lot of, because I did it in my videos today, I said a lot of people have their nose in a book and they are missing God tapping on their shoulder and saying, I want to talk to you. And you're telling God to be quiet because you're reading. And,
Wow.
but look at this. Then when God speaks, when you allow God to speak, and we're not even Christians, things like this happen. Things like this happen. When you allow yourself to let go of what other people said, and like you said, that last word, self, and you listen. Because God's not out here. God's not out there. God's in here. He lives in here. And that doesn't mean that you have to have a religion. It doesn't mean any of those things. It just means, because I call God the divine. He's my infinite source. I've been able to do this for the last 7 years because I'm tapped into an infinite source. So I've learned that in sowing seeds, it's nice to have his blessing. But I've learned that out of all of it, God will say to me, now, are you ready to slay today? God will, God will say to me, like, today is going to be the day because you have to slay. Like, he'll let me know today's important. You need to be on. You need to be ready because you're going to slay today. And I'm like, okay. And I stand there and I put on my mascara and everything.
Right.
Like, you need to be ready to slay. And I'm not waiting for some kind of impartation. I know it's coming through here. So I know when he says that to me, I got to be ready to radiate, because the conversation is going to be amazing. And it was. It was. It was
Wow.
absolutely amazing. Thank you so much. Thank you.
You are so welcome, man. I
So,
appreciate you so much. I have a deeper respect for you, what you do, your artistry. I just appreciate this conversation. Thank you for allowing me to amplify each other's platforms in this manner. Um, this is just amazing. It truly was an experience. So I can't wait for the listeners and the viewers to
yeah.
see all of this.
Yeah.
And I
And I'm
can't wait for
fast too. It'll be
the
out today. I'm fast. It'll be. I'm fast.
okay.
Ain't no. I told people I don't edit. What we said is what we said. That's
Okay.
yeah, yeah. I don't play. I don't play. It will
Right, right.
render. It will render. No, it'll render. I put the intro to outro, and boom, it'll be out by the night. So do this before we go. Tell everybody where they can find you on social media, anywhere you want to be found.
Anywhere, darling. Well, I'm going to take advantage of this in full light.
Yes.
People, everybody, you can follow me on Instagram. It is Asa_Leon. My TikTok is also Asa_Leon. You also can find me on Twitter. It is the Light Skin Super Saiyan. If you guys have any difficulties finding any of my social media sites, go to this video, go to my page. My link tree is in my bio. You can find all of that. My book is in my link tree, so if you want to learn more information about how to be a courageous gay black man in the world, go purchase my book. Go and find me on all platforms. Follow me, subscribe, whatever. You will love every bit of it.
Yes,
All
we
of
will. Yes,
it.
we do.
Love it. Oh,
Thank you
well,
so much.
thank you. And I freaking love you and I adore you. And I just can't wait to see where things just explode for you and your superpower
They're coming.
is coming. No, it's not coming. It's here.
Yeah,
And your superstarness,
yeah,
it's already now.
yeah. Thank you so much. Don't go away. Ladies and gentlemen, you have heard the vocal stylist of Mr. Leon Berry, entrepreneur, published model, and author. Say goodbye, but don't go away.
Bye, everybody. This was fun. Stay. Oh, wait, I just got confused. Let the shyness kick in. Well, you guys be at peace, spread love and positivity, and be that bitch.
Yeah! And that's how we're going to go on.
Right.
So, did you enjoy? I hope you did. Please like, comment, subscribe, share, and don't forget to cash at me at the Queen of Shade. I am your favorite content creator, right? Right. You want to see more of this content, right? Right. Cash at me. I love you. Mwah.
I've got my black stilettos on. Don't you make me take them off. I'm assuming first position. Gonna show you I'm a boss. I've been given 60 seconds just to put my thing down. I'll have you wanting my stilettos by the time I turn around. Turn that TV down.